Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ciena Solutions Challenge student panel discussion. My name is Carissa Bowen, and I will be your moderator for today's session. We will be hearing from teams from Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and India today. Today's panel is being recorded, and attendees are muted upon entry. We encourage you all to engage with our panel in the chat box and in the question and answer function. So, just wanted to share a little agenda before we head into our student panel discussion and presentations today. This agenda will just basically describes how we're going to be spending this time together. And before we get started into all the presentations, we'd love to know who's in the room with us. Again, we thank you all for taking out some time to celebrate these great awardees. So please use the chat box feature to share your name and where you are in the world, where you might be joining us from. And, because the YouthMADE Festival is an inclusive celebration where participants showcase youth creators and change makers in their local communities while engaging with like-minded peers around the world. We'd also love to know something special about your own community, where you're coming from. So while you share your name and your location, feel free to share something cool about where you're coming from, something cool about your community or your neighborhood or where you are in the region. So we'd love to just kind of see who's joining in from where. If this is your first time hearing about the Sienna Solutions Challenge, welcome. Today and for the last couple of weeks and maybe a month or so, we've been celebrating the Sienna Solutions Challenge awardees. So since launching in 2021, more than 950 educators from schools and youth organizations across 94 countries have engaged with the Sienna Solutions Challenge. It's a global design challenge by Digital Promise and Ciena that invites middle and high school students globally to use challenge-based learning to design solutions that address the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals within their own communities. And this year alone, in 2025, we had the highest level of participation yet. This year, we received 138 projects that were submitted from 25 different countries, engaging in a record number of educators and students. And of these projects, our volunteer judges that you'll hear a little bit from today selected 20 student teams to win $3,000 USD sustainability awards. And those awards are basically helping those teams to sustain and scale their projects. And we also awarded an additional 42 schools to win 750 USD prizes, which can also be used to sustain or scale their projects. And so we couldn't just select 20. We saw so many great projects, and we are looking forward to, seeing a lot more in the next year. So congratulations to each and every person who participated this year and to all the prize winners. We're really proud of you all and really excited to see the great work that you'll put forward, move in the future. So, just to give you just a brief insight about today's student teams, you'll be hearing from 4 inspiring student teams from across different parts of the world in Nigeria, South Africa, India, and Kenya. And so, we have seen lots of different innovations from students making podcasts to campaigns to digital maps, things of the like, and outside of what we could even imagine. And so, we are really excited to just learn a little bit more about their presentations today and hear from them. And so, to that end, we just want to kind of start with a quick introduction from our special guests from the Siena Networking Systems, which is our partner. They are our partners in this great initiative. They'll be joining us today on today's panel. Volunteers Julie and Jacob have set aside some time to engage in our group discussion that we'll be having after the student presentations. So please welcome our guests, special guests, honorary guests, and volunteers. So thank you both, Julie and Jacob, for joining. And
Thank you, Carissa.
Mhm. Let me just move my slide. And Julie, feel free to introduce yourself, share a little bit more.
Well, hi, everyone. I'm Julie Grantham. I'm Senior Corporate Counsel at Ciena. I do live in Houston, Texas. So by default, my favorite food is Mexican food because I can find it anywhere in Houston. The work I cover, I'm on the sell side of our company in the legal department on the Americas team, which is North America and Canada, and also the CALA region. I support large service providers like Comcast, AT&T, Charter, Verizon. I'm also a leadership member on the global services leadership team. So I'm very involved in the services that our company provides because it's not just products, it's services as well. And I'm also a contributing member to our new Ciena AI GAI case use team. So thank you for having me. Oh, I forgot. I sent you more information, Carissa. Well, it's a summary of what I do. What you asked about my journey to Ciena. I've had an interesting legal career. I've worked in a law firm for 4 years, but I've actually been general counsel of two companies. They were small tech companies, and I had my own law practice for 5 years, which I'll never do again because I give away time. So I also was an adjunct professor at the University of Texas in Austin at their School of Law. I created and taught the first course on electronic discovery and technology law. And this experience at Ciena is fantastic because it's my first opportunity to work at a very large global publicly traded company. And it is full of incredibly intelligent people that are way smarter than me. So it's just an honor to work here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. Jacob, feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob Salee. I live here in Washington, D.C., and I started with Ciena back in October. A little bit about me. Some of my favorite activities. I love traveling. I love spending a lot of time with my dog over here, Barley, and fitness quite a bit. I like to stay fit. Um, I do love to volunteer, so this was a really great opportunity. Anything in science, technology, engineering or math, I'd like to get involved in. This is my first time volunteering here for the Ciena Solutions Challenge. So this was a really great opportunity. I don't get to work around kids as much as I would like to. So this is a really good, you know, something to do that I can't really, have access to all the time. I do like to volunteer quite a bit across the region here for gay pride events across the city and across the region. Um, Go to the next slide. Um, I started working actually in the industry, telecom, at Northwestern University. I started working with them back in 2003, 2004. And I actually started working around Ciena equipment when the company was fairly new. And I've worked around Ciena equipment ever since. I think they're quite a wonderful company. I am a network solutions engineer in the government sector. And I do everything to help support our customers, network support, operations, anything that the sales team needs, any type of technical questions that the account management team might need. So it really is a great opportunity, and I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much both for joining and for sharing a little bit more about yourselves. And we look forward to hearing from you both after the presentations. Um, so without further ado, we're going to actually start listening into our amazing student teams. So Ebenezer, I see that you just joined from your team. Thank you so much for coming in. We have the SparkWise Tech Initiative team from Nigeria. So they're going to be sharing a little bit more about their amazing innovation. So I'm going to actually stop sharing. Ebenezer, do you want to go ahead and share your screen? And if you don't, let me know, and I'm happy to advance the slides for you since we have
Please,
to.
you have to give us just like 3-4 minutes. I want to log in through my system, please.
Okay. Do you need a little bit more time to get started? Because then we can move on to another presenter.
Yeah, just 2 minutes or 3 minutes so that I'll log in through the laptop. I don't want to use this phone for it.
Okay, that's fine. Brenda, we're going to go ahead and start with your team, if that's okay. And then we'll come back to Ebenezer's.
Hi, I think yes, we can go on with us.
Okay, perfect. Ebenezer, we'll come back to you after their presentation is completed. All right, so we're actually going to switch gears a little bit. We'll get started with the InnovateEd Code and Create team from Johannesburg, South Africa. So you can go ahead and get started.
Okay, are you going to present on your slide? Because on my slide, nothing I can able to share.
Yes.
Maybe you can share.
Yeah, if you can see my screen, I have your slide deck up right now.
No, I can't able to see. I think
what we're seeing is the Egba Odeda High School presentation that's up.
Can you all see the same slide as me? I'm looking at the SchoolNet South Africa slide.
I see the SouthNet School, South Africa, big idea and the essential question on the right and problem statement slide.
Okay. Brenda, you might have a different window up.
no,
It's up now.
it's up now.
Oh,
Okay. Maybe I can start over. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Brenda,
Yeah, now I can able to see the slide.
you can see it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, everyone. In South Africa, it's good afternoon, almost 3:30. My name is Brenda Mohale from SchoolNet South Africa. And then also I'm with my team around, unless if you want me to check to switch on the camera, is it fine or I can continue?
Yeah, please turn on your camera. We'd love to see you guys.
And then also it's going to be like more of collaboration, not only myself, I'll be explaining, so as a team will be interjecting there and there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so we are, as I said, SchoolNet South Africa, and then our project name is InnovateEd Code and
It's InnovateEd Code and Create. I think the essential question is how can we empower teachers with skills and resources to integrate coding and robotics sustainably in the classroom? The idea stemmed from the coding and robotics curriculum that's been introduced here in South Africa for primary school learners. And the biggest challenge was that teachers are currently under-equipped in terms of digital literacy skills. And being a training institution, we thought, how best can we support this and make sure that, you know, we start creating coding clubs where teachers can firstly be trained on how to do basic coding using online and offline coding. And then how then do we use that to sort of give them an idea in a sense of what coding looks like. And I think the biggest drive is to eventually make sure that they then design their lessons such that it includes coding and robotics within the curriculum, so that it's not, coding and robotics is not seen as an additional subject, but a tool that can be utilized to make teaching and learning more interactive, more engaging and fun. So as I was saying, that the reason behind all this engagement is that we felt that our teachers have a lack, or rather they're not prepared in terms of teaching coding and robotics. And that there's a lot of inequalities in South Africa. You know, we still have a great digital divide. We also want to be part of the global shift towards digital skills. So this was one of the ways in which we could actually move towards that initiative. And then there's the element around implementing this to make sure that coding and robotics is used within the classroom and not seen as an additional subject. And the idea behind the coding club then brings about the element of sustainability for digital learning. And eventually that aligns with what the workforce needs. I think worldwide, we know that digital literacy has become almost the core of all the careers that are out there. And being a developing country, then we align very well with what the workforce needs are. And so some of the activities that we did when we started engaging with our teachers is that we introduced them to offline coding, just to lay down the fundamental skills that are learned in coding. From then, we introduced coding using puzzles. And in this instance, we were using ranges. Then from there, we moved on to utilizing Scratch as the first platform that we use for coding. And eventually, we introduced the use of Octo Studio and microbits for robotics. And so also what we were looking at is the element around project-based learning. How do we make sure that through this intervention or through this project, we look at some of the requirements in terms of the curriculum for the teachers we were working with, and what are they required to build in their classroom. And that's how we ended up building this temperature sensing robot. But the foundation of it was obviously learning the fundamentals or the basics of what coding is. And eventually we incorporated that into one of the outcomes of the curriculum, which spoke to, the temperature around, or looking at the weather around. And the best way to do that was obviously creating a robot that would be mobile and be able to sense temperature around where we were working. And the sustainability plan, I think I spoke about it a bit earlier, is the issue around establishing coding clubs. So the teachers that we started with, or rather the group that we're sitting with, will be going out to train schools in and around Johannesburg. And we'll be encouraging the teachers that we're working with to start their own small coding clubs in the schools. And the idea there is that once the teachers feel confident and comfortable with this coding concept, then they are able to train other teachers in neighboring schools. So it's igniting a small fire, and we're hoping that eventually other schools will follow a similar process in terms of establishing their own coding club. But at the core of it, it will still be project-based learning. So looking at what is required by their curriculum in their grades, and making sure that they then infuse the use of coding and robotics within those lessons. And I think eventually we're hoping that we'll be seeing some of our learners entering such competitions from the project-based learning projects that these learners will be doing. There's quite a number of lessons that we've learned in this implementation. However, I think what stood out for us are 4 points. the fact that teachers are on different levels in terms of their digital literacy and the importance of being able to support them where they are. The second element is making sure that when we support them, it's not a blanket approach, that we have a full-on understanding of what they need and meet them at their point of need. The other thing that came through whilst we were implementing is the time constraints. Teachers were saying, you know, like, when do we get the time to do this? How do we then sit and make time to integrate? And because this is project-based learning, it requires for collaboration for teachers in the same grade to look at what are their outcomes and how can they put their heads together in making sure that they achieve, you know, what they're trying to achieve from the different subjects that they teach. So the biggest element that came from there was time constraints. And I think what sits at the core of the lessons that we learned is elements around confidence, that training doesn't become a once-off thing. Once you start training educators, it's important that we support them to a point where they feel confident enough to start their own thing. And I think that's where we're sitting, having the patience to make sure that, you know, they feel well supported, and that when we do step out or when we do step aside, they are confident enough to run their coding clubs with no limitations.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Brenda and team, for your perspective from a teacher's perspective and as a collaborative group. I know that a lot of teachers on this that are joining us, both as presenters and attendees, can attest to a lot of the lessons that you've shared here. So can't wait to get into that a little bit more in the discussion segment. So thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with our second team from Nigeria, our SparkWise Tech Initiative team. So Ebenezer, if you guys are ready, we can advance the slides for you. And just to emphasis on time, we'd love to share the slides for you, and you're welcome to start presenting.
Okay, thank you, Carissa, and thank you everyone for the opportunity. Now we are ready and we are about to present our projects. Let me share the slides on my end and see how it goes.
Ebenezer, if it's okay with you, just to save on time, I can share your slides for you because we have them. If you just want to go ahead and start, your students can start actually speaking now. So you don't need to share your screen. We can share it for you.
Okay, share it broadly and make it to be in the presentation mode until they say next slide before you change the slide. As it is still tiny. That is what I'm saying.
Say that again.
The slide is very tiny from our end here.
Oh, it's very tiny.
Yeah, that's why if I share from my end, it will be broader.
Okay. All right. We can stop sharing. Okay, I think you have the ability to share now.
I need a request to share.
Okay, I gave you permission to share.
Can you see my screen now?
It looks like it's loading.
Can you see it?
Not yet. It's loading. It's still loading.
Okay. Is it out now?
We can see your screen. You just have to change to the different tab. We can see Zoom. You just have
Well,
to.
you can see the screen now, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
It looks like you have the slide up. We just need to maximize it so we can see the full screen.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, we can see it. You can go ahead and start.
Okay. I think you can hear us.
Yes, you're audible. We can hear you.
Okay. Then one of our students start sharing the project now.
Good day, everyone. My name is Bakare. We are the Young Innovators Club from Odeda High School, and our project, SPARKWISE Tech Initiative, presenters, my very self and my co-presenters. Next slide.
Transform the discarded plastic use and damage through creative use and technical skills. We reduce environmental pollution.
This project is special because it empowers us as students to be problem solvers, leading sustainable innovation right from our school workshop. It promotes climate action, clean energy, and youth entrepreneur. That's like
Lesson learned and future plans. We learned that teamwork, creativity, and perseverance can turn waste into solutions. This experience taught us the importance of climate action, innovation, and practical skills. Moving forward, we plan to train more students in green technology and expand our innovation to reach other schools and homes with clean, affordable energy solutions. We hope to become a community hub for environmental sustainability and youth-led tech innovation. Thank you.
Okay, so in summary, this is the project that I've already developed for long, which is what they are sharing today. These young innovators, they transform discarded plastic and electronic waste to produce solar-powered household appliances such as torches, blenders, and fans. So they also build a biogas digester, which is used for green cooking in the school, and also some community members have adopted it. They repair damaged appliances, which here is the talk hub, which is used to repair some of the damaged electrical appliances teachers and other community members normally bring for them. And they have been innovating some other this is a sustainable method that have been initiated in the rural community, and they have been doing it, benefiting both the teachers and the community at large. So thank you for the time and the opportunity so far for sharing this wonderful project with the YouthMADE Festival. Thank you, Carissa. You can now go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ebenezer, and for the rest of the SparkWise team.
That's great.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and go back to sharing my
So I'm not
screen.
sharing now, right?
Nope, you're not sharing anymore.
Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you. We can't wait to hear from you all in the student discussion segment. So actually for our last team they're not actually physically here, but they wanted to still send their video in, their pre-recorded video to share more about their project. This is the Stride Ease team from India. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and let me stop sharing for a second to make sure that we can get the sound on. Okay. Can you all let me know if you can hear the sound?
Hello, Namaste. We are
Yes.
super excited to share the great news that our project.
The sound just went away.
Yeah, I think it just cut off, Carissa.
Did somebody say the sound went away?
Yeah, it cut off. If it helps, the video is embedded in the next slide after their title slide.
Oh, okay. Let me try that instead. Sorry, folks.
That's okay.
Hello, Namaste. We are super excited to share the great news that
It cut out again.
It could be the video, Carissa. I
It
didn't.
could
have been
be.
recognized by you
Did it come out again?
Yeah, no, it came back. It could
Okay.
be.
all, and we all thank you sincerely.
Yeah, the audio cut off again. I think the audio is still cut off, Carissa. Is anyone else able to hear
Which
the
allows the users to walk safely even on rough.
Now it's back.
Moreover, the device has adjustable settings.
Sorry.
Is the sound cutting out again?
Yeah, I think it's when you mute yourself, it cuts off. That's what's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, no,
That's okay.
you're good. It
Let me
happens.
see if it'll work this way.
Yeah, it could just be a weird setting on the video, but whenever you mute yourself, the video mutes.
Got it. Okay.
Created to help the people, those who have trouble walking, like some of our friends, elderly people, those with disabilities, and those who are healing from injuries. It gives them more freedom, comfort, and independence in their daily lives. We were inspired to create this when we saw how difficult it can be for many people to move around easily. We wanted to make a helpful, affordable, and easy to use device for them. Also, giving balance and support as needed. Secondly, the device is made from strong but low-cost materials, making it both eco-friendly and durable. Besides that, the device has smart sensors, which allows the users to walk safely even on rough roads. Moreover, the device has adjustable settings, so each person can use it the way that suits them the best. Lastly, to save energy, the device is charged by using solar panels, which is also helpful for people living in the remote or poor areas because they cannot afford regular devices. Strides is not just a device. Rather, it is a step towards a more caring and inclusive world. Making Strides was an amazing learning experience to us all. We used the STEM skills, science, technology, engineering, and math, and worked together as a team to solve many problems. We spoke to people, those who might use the device, took their feedback, and improved our design many times to meet their needs.
Okay.
That was great. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you for, well, I'll say this now. I'm sure they'll hear the recording later, but thank you to the Strides team. We wish we could have them here today. They're actually in the middle of professional development and finals, and so it kind of ran into this time, but they are really, they just wanted to share their appreciation for you guys today. All right, so we have actually reached the point of our student discussion segment a little earlier than expected, which is great because that means we have more time to chat with our students and our teachers who have also joined today. So this is the part where, Julie and Jacob, you all are welcome to jump in and kind of share the prompts that you have with the students and educators, and everyone can kind of start discussing. So Jacob, do you want to share your question first?
Sure, thank you, Carissa. So my question asks, what was one lesson or idea that was learned or realized during the Ciena Solutions Challenge that wasn't expected by the students?
Thanks, Jacob. So either Brenda's team or Ebenezer, if your team is ready to respond, you all can jump right on in. And if you're trying to share, make sure to come off mute so we can hear you. Brenda or Ebenezer, just want to make sure that we can hear you.
I also put the question in the chat. I'm not sure if it'll be helpful to have the questions up, but the question is in the chat as well.
Okay.
Thanks.
You mean that the students should share one of these the response to these questions, what they learned, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let my students let them share a little of their idea. Good everyone.
Good everyone. My name is Bakare. We realize environmental problems are linked to social issues. Our clean energy project empowers girls, youth, and people with disabilities through skill and income opportunities, creating inclusive, lasting impact.
Okay, Raphael. Yeah. Oh. Next student will share his what he learned.
Good day, everyone. My name is Raphael. We didn't expect this such confidence and leadership. The challenge showed us we could take real action, lead projects, and inspire change even as students.
Can you say your name?
My name is Olayola Peter. We learn innovation goals through teamwork beyond school, collaborating with community members. Taught us that solving problems means valuing everyone, idea, and working together.
Summarize. Thank you everyone for the opportunity.
Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity.
Okay, that is a little of your sharing. Others can share their own. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Brenda, would your team want to share a little bit more of things that were realized or learned?
Okay, during our project, we have learned the collaboration that we have actually encountered with teachers, and then learning how their environment in the classroom, how we can able to help them actually to incorporate coding in their subjects. And then also the challenges that we face, we did talk about it more of the time, and also how we can able to assist them to able to incorporate the coding element in that, so that they can save time, because we realize that teachers are overwhelmed, they're overworked, and then there is a lot of administration that they need to do besides teaching. But being there on the ground with them, actually really, it was a lesson to us also to be able to do some introspection on our side to say, how can we also assist them so that they can have limited work overload, incorporate some of your 21st century teaching. That is our what we have learned. And then also the collaboration, it was good, sitting down with them, learning how they are doing their day-to-day work. We do that, but going to their classes, engaging with those learners, that was some of the good thing actually we learned from them. There were never a dull moment around them, always fun to be around those little ones. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those responses. And I'm sure the lessons learned are going to continue. So, you know, in the next kind of iteration of both of your projects. Julie, would you like to share your question with the teams?
Sure. And my question really is kind of a bigger question, like a takeaway question, because I think all of you use some kind of technology or coding, something technical related to solve a problem that was a big problem in your community and in a way that protects the planet. So I guess my question would be, do you think that you're able to scale your projects in a way that continue to protect the planet and continue to solve problems? You know, I would love to hear what your future thoughts and plans are. Dream big with your project.
Ebenezer or Brenda's team, whenever you guys are ready.
I think when we looked at our project, when we were reviewing and looking at how we can scale this project, we saw how when scaling it, there's an opportunity for teachers to look at their curriculum and look at how they can utilize it to solve problems around them. So we are training digital literacy through coding. However, if they learn to utilize that within their curriculum, what we're solving there is an issue of learners leaving schools potentially with no digital literacy. And I think in South Africa particularly, we see a lot of young people, because of the digital divide, they start school, they don't have access to any sort of digital resources. And when they get to varsity or college, then it becomes a big problem because they've never used this thing and it's still a new thing for them. But when we introduce such projects within a schooling environment, it means we then tick this box of the digital divide. And by the time the learners leave the schooling system, they at least how to utilize technology. The other end of it is because the project itself, or the Ciena project or the Ciena challenge and how it's structured is around solving problems. It gives the teachers an opportunity to look at some of the problems that they are encountering in the schooling environments, and an opportunity to look at, now that we've got technology, then how do we utilize it to try and solve some of those problems. So when we're looking at scaling and potentially, you know, utilizing the structure of the program, there's great opportunities for growth, particularly when you're looking at environmental issues as well, because that's also part of the curriculum. And because now they've got access to technology, it means there's a tool that has a potential to solve some of those problems, but within the curriculum. So I think there's great opportunities, there's never ending opportunities. We just have to be creative around how we then utilize the resources we have to try and solve those problems.
Thank you. Wonderful answer. That's fantastic. So encouraging.
Thank you. Ebenezer, I see you have your hand raised. Feel free to come off mute.
Okay, yeah, my students want to share one or two things concerning how to scale the initiative and their plans forward. So that I will add to their voice as well.
So, good day everyone. My name is Raphael Odin. And it says that if we are empowered or if we are empowered in this our community, we are going to launch some of our projects and make it easy for the whole community. And we are going to be contacting them from China and other continents to come. We are going to make a big tech hub in this our community. So we are going to contact them from China and some other continents to come here to do some of our projects and to do some other things. We can make like a generator, a solar power generator, solar power refrigerator, and solar power just like mount in our community site because we are lacking of electricity here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
In addition,
and also, we can also make some machines with solar, like solar power pumping machine, solar powered motorcycle vehicles.
In addition, also we can also create solar power refrigerator, solar power generator, and also we can create so many things. Are powered by solar. Thank you.
okay, to add my voice to their contributions. So their aim is to kind of advance their innovations to make it more advanced and to touch not only the community but the wider area. It requires if they can get maybe a strong partnership from Western worlds globally or technology, the kind of Western world that are good in technology like China, Japan, and some other things, so that when they are equipped with some tools and materials, maybe some solar panels and some other boards, because you know some of the solar panels are not hardly built in Nigeria. Some of them are exported based on different branding. But when they have a kind of partnership where there will be a kind of those companies will build some solar panels within their own branded and also have more training. You can see that what they have the skills and initiative to even build solar powered appliances that can be built and standard for homes instead of depending on grid failure that is not seen in their rural community. They can have a sustainable solar generator that one can mount and will having steady electricity, as well as solar powered appliances like refrigerator, freezers, boiling, and all those other blenders and the washing machine, many of them, so that it can be used and it will be standard locally made in their community with that particular partnership. Even that of solar power there. For example, this thing you are seeing here now is their solar power toy car. This is an innovation hub. They have many other things. I will not be displaying all of them. So this solar power toy car now, if they start it under the soil, it begin to move. But when they have a support and strong technology, they can build a standard solar power car and electric vehicle. We can be to reduce gaseous emission of using petrol and other things in the community. So they have many innovations here that is solar powered, but they are in toy form and they are in a reduced form. But when they have a kind of more cooperation or more partnership and sponsorship, they can advance into a higher technology. Thank you.
Excellent. I just have to say that all of these teams did such an amazing job and were so creative and innovative. I guess one question I have for each of the teams is, what was the most fun part about this project for you?
Please come again.
They say you should recap.
Pardon?
Okay, the fun part on our side, it was the building of the robots, also the coding of the sensor, because it was the first time actually teachers could able to see them with microbits. So that coding part where they were using, we made code, and then some group of the teachers we divided into two. Some were building the robot itself, following the steps, missing one element of that robot that you couldn't able to move as fast or as with the speed that we are looking for. So it was so much fun, and also adding some sound So our robotic sensors, and then when it goes to a certain temperature, the moment it changes, the sound also changes. So it was so fun that teachers, they couldn't want to leave the robot, and then they wanted more and more, and building different one, and also code that microbit chip more and more, wanting to do more on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose also the realization that when you're doing project-based learning, there's an opportunity for each of the teachers to put in an element of their subject within whatever is being created. You know, also getting our hands dirty, I think, like Brenda was saying, was the fun parts. Sometimes when we had to sit and write, it was a bit of a challenge as to who's doing the writing. But when it comes to getting our hands dirty and putting the things together, then it's like having adult learners who've just gone back to grade R. Yeah, so but it was a beautiful experience.
Terrific.
Thank you. Ebenezer, I think you had your hand raised. We have about a minute left if you want to respond to to the question of what was the most fun part of the project for your students.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. The most something that is very fun part of our projects is what I call it that in different ways, but I choose that of a gamification, where we have a kind of have different portions of a project allotted to different students based on their teams, and they take it as not too stressful. They take it as fun, where they compete on different innovations to present. For example, if you look at when we did our inaugural launching of this initiative about a month or 2 months ago, about 50 students we have, I just threw it open to all the students to go and innovate some solutions that is very a kind of peculiar and very important to their community and for them to use. So many of them innovated their separate solar-powered fans. So innovated some separate solar-powered torchlights, and it was like a kind of a competitive, and they were doing it individually. And when they after doing it, they come up with a kind of different designs, and it was marvelous. When we innovated it, they were coming up with their designs, showcasing it, and we're certifying them. So we find it fun to innovate and to repair damaged electronics effortlessly. Because the students have a kind of, they cooperate. It is a part of what I say, it is something that is their talents or their skills. So they normally see, whenever they go around the community, they will see one particular challenge or this, and they will come as a team in their club and discuss about it. Then they begin to plan on what to do or what to innovate, even though it does not solve 100% of the challenge, but at least it will give a kind of a part of it to show us that this is the little solution they can bring. So I find it to be very, very a kind of fun to see the progress they are making, in the sense that the innovations we had a lot of last year, this year has a better improvement, in the sense that there are some things that are added. Before, we have a solar powered fan that is only connected direct to the solar that can power it, but now they can begin to use adapter, USB, to put in the innovation that they can also be charged directly with electric water sockets, and some of those challenges that they are proving to be easy to be done. So that is something that is fun, I can say, concerning what they have done and what they are doing. Except if they want to add anything to it.
Thank you. Great answer.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you both for your great responses. Sorry, Julie, I didn't mean to cut you off if you had anything else you wanted to add.
No, I'm just so super impressed with these projects. They're inspiring, they're innovative, they're creative, and you all have poured so much of your hard work and time into them, and I'm just thrilled. They're super impressed.
Thank you. Thank you all. So we're actually going to move on to our announcements, but before we do that, I just want to again thank you all to the teams who presented today with your presentations and sharing a little bit more about your projects. We loved hearing from you, and we hope to continue to see how your projects are scaled and sustained in the future. So thank you all. Jess, feel free to move on to the announcements.
Yeah, thanks, Carissa. And just to echo again, thank y'all again. Thank you, Jacob, Julie. Those were awesome questions. And Ebenezer and Brenda, y'all had some really thoughtful responses. It was just really great to hear more about your projects. Just to wrap up, we want to continue these conversations. So we invite you to join us at our other live events happening this week. We just wrapped up our first student panel today. So yay, congrats to the teams. We have another one coming up in an hour. So if you have some time to join us, feel free to take a break, grab a snack, come back in an hour and hear from students from Canada, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, and the US. So the link to register for that panel is in the chat. And if you don't have any plans this weekend, we have another awesome event that you can attend. So on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, you can sign up for the event Eat Green and Grow Green. This will be by students in North St. Louis. So they'll be tackling the food insecurity issues in their community by launching a gardening initiative. And then you can also check out the rest of these events in the chat as well by visiting our YouthMADE directory, where you can also find available content and everything else that will be happening this week at the YouthMADE Festival.
Terrific. Would you like me to join the panel in an hour?
Yes, if you have time, absolutely. Like, we definitely encourage you.
I'll put it on my calendar right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, I believe we'll also have Claire joining as well as a volunteer. So you're welcome to hop on. And if you have any questions for those team, you're welcome to share those as well.
All right, perfect. I'll see you in an hour.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. And just a few reminders, we're also presenting YouthMADE Festival Community Awards this year. So the Community Awards invites teachers, students, families, and community members around the world to recognize students who presented at the YouthMADE Festival. So this includes the students and teams presenting today. So please use our Community Awards form to give kudos to students who presented their work. And we ask that you complete this by May 27th. And you're welcome to share this, this form with community members, with schools, with teachers, and have them specifically outline the students that they want to give kudos to. And then another reminder, we hope that y'all can also take time to give us some feedback. So as you continue attending these events during the YouthMADE Festival, we would love to hear your thoughts. So it's a short form, just takes a few minutes, and that'll also be in the chats. And lastly, that just concludes our panel for today. Thank you all again so much. Thank you for joining us. We definitely want to hear from you on social media. If you use social media, please use the hashtag Ciena Challenge, hashtag YouthMADE. If you have photos, we love to see those too. You can follow us on Instagram at YouthMADE Festival. Check out the directory for more events. And again, we have another panel happening in an hour. So take a break and come back and we'll see you in a little bit. But thank you all again to everyone, our panelists, our moderators, our volunteers. Y'all did so great today. We really appreciate your time. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. We hope to see you again in a little bit. Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, everybody.